topics all morning long this morning is National Taxpayers Union Executive Vice President Brandon Arnold and Deputy Editor of Restoring America for the Washington Examiner, Kaylee McGee-White. Great to see you guys this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Kaylee, let me kick this off with you as the remains of the spy flight headed to an FBI processing lab today. We learned that it may have contained explosives. Your reaction?
Well, it seems quite clear that the spy balloon, the spy flight, is a symptom of this increasing aggressive posture from China. And it really does seem like the spy flight was geared towards figuring out what the U.S.'s response to it would be, what Biden's response would be. And so the question is, did Biden fail in some respect by allowing the spy flight to continue hovering over the continental United States for so many days? Were we subservient in that sense? Did China take something away from that, especially as it moves into Taiwan possibly in the next few years?
Yeah, well, you have to believe that it was there for something. I mean, it was there to collect information, surveillance. Brandon, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Biden has talked about how he wants to have America lead internationally speaking here. We know there are other spy balloons out there. There's one reportedly over Latin America right now. I think this is an opportunity for global leadership from this administration because they can step up and unify the global response to what China is doing right now. That requires, of course, diplomatic engagement. I think we made a mistake by canceling Blinken's tour to Beijing to discuss this issue in a diplomatic fashion. But there's certainly a vacuum for leadership here, and hopefully the Biden administration steps up and steps into that role.
So, I mean, what were we going to do? Send Anthony Blinken, even though there's this spy flight in our country surveilling American citizens? I mean, doesn't that send a different message that it's fine to come surveil, put programs of surveillance in place for America, and we're still going to travel across the world to meet with counterparts in Beijing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we should have a dialogue there because that's what the Secretary of State does. They engage in dialogues, not just when relations are great with other countries, but specifically when we have tense relationships with other countries to kind of cool what is taking place, to get their perspective. It doesn't mean we accept what they're saying. Of course, we're going to operate with a high level of skepticism, but we need diplomatic engagement here if we are eventually going to reach some sort of mutually agreeable situation here.
I wonder what is going to be said tonight on this situation. Kaylee, is he going to bring up this spy flight? Is he going to bring up the fact that never before have we seen a balloon able to float freely in America throughout much of the country for a week?
I doubt it, and I think that it's because Biden and much of his administration does not want to admit that the Cold War with China is getting hotter and that that's going to require a much more aggressive posture from the United States moving forward. What that exactly means in terms of military and economic might, I think that's what we're going to have to figure out. But there's no denying anymore the real domestic threat that China poses to the country.
Yes, that's right. We are just getting started this morning. Former House Speaker